Positive shit. Them dragons. The house of them dragons, man. So Deidre,
So this was no next week is technically the penultimate episode of House of the Dragon. Um, this was coming into it the most highest rated pre-screen episode of House of the Dragon. I'll get into that later. But the penultimate episode, I should say that later too. So this episode starts off from last time. We did talk about last week, but long story short, and
Damon.
Rhaenyra and Daemon got married. So
Right.
if you want to find out how that ended up happening, get an HBO Max subscription. Watch House of Dragons. WB and Discovery send me my check. Now, when when we start this off, we started off with um basically the nigga Targaryen. We say Targaryen, but he's a Valerian.
Corliss.
Nigga, no, not Corliss. Corliss
Oh,
is
you
sick.
talking about his son? My
No, I'm
father's
talking
son.
about his son is technically dead, but
Yeah.
off
Oh.
being gay somewhere. So we start off. We start off um with his brother. Forgot his name. Don't worry, it's not that important.
That's
Like
too many
2
names.
minutes.
Look.
Start with his brother saying, "Look, I should be Lord of Driftmark because Fonum ain't really no Valerian. Well, not Valerian. How the fuck do you say their last name?
Valorian or
Hold
something
on, I
like
just
that?
hold
Valoran or
on.
something like that? That's saying?
Valerian.
I've been saying Valerian, so I thought you.
Valerian is what all Targaryens and them niggas are. So Valerian, however you want to say it, the nigga Targaryen. They ain't no real nigga Targaryen. You know it, we know it, the whole world knows it. And he's saying it's for Rhaenys, which is um Rhaenyra's auntie or
Yeah.
cousin or something like that. Which is also, and look, if you get confused when we start saying who's brothers and sisters and married to who, you go look up a family tree. And if you want to find out how that family tree happened, you get you an HBO Max subscription and you go ahead and watch that show. WB and Discovery, send me my check. But in this, she do basically making this point like, look, I'm gonna go to King's Landing. I'm gonna stake my claim, and guess who's gonna have my back? And he's shorty like, look, the king ain't gonna want to hear you say nothing about his daughter. He's like, look, woman, ain't no king on that throne. It's a queen who run that. So basically, it's saying Alicent and House Hightower, and for going forward, so I don't have to say all these niggas' names and all the houses' names. Since the dance is about to start, Rhaenyra's crew, like how everybody in the fandom said, we're gonna do it on the podcast too. Rhaenyra's crew, no pun intended, is the blacks, and Alicent crew, because this is her house color, is the greens. That's how we go. So when we talking about them crew, if we talking about Rhaenyra, she part of the greens. If we talking about not Rhaenyra, we talking about Rhaenyra, she part of the blacks. If we talking about Alicent, she part of the greens. It will make things way much easier because they about to introduce 70 more characters in this thing next season, and they all gonna die. So,
I love it.
so he basically said, so Rainey's is like, look, don't worry about all that. So Rainey's niece, granddaughter, who is technically Rhaenyra's fucking um stepdaughter at the moment, sent a raven to Rhaenyra while she was with her sons and say, hey, look, they about to come out to Luke's claim, which is one of Rhaenyra's sons, who is the heir of Driftmark because his father died. And Corliss, the person who can legitimize that hair, is sick on the bed of some battle. He got like a fever. Niggas think he gonna die. So,
More like it. Back then, that's
so
absolutely.
now everybody goes to King's Landing because now they gotta have court. Rhaenyra know when she stepped out that carriage, everybody want her hair on the pipe. It's because she been doing a lot of fucking. So how the fuck people she ain't supposed to? So she like, I don't even want to be here. But she brought all her sons. And it's a time skip, so a lot of people got older. So she brought all her sons. And they all going across the castle. She shows, look, bro, I talked a lot of crap about King Viserys throughout this show. I'm not going to take none of that back. He's still an ass king. But god damn it, this episode he deserves a fucking Emmy for everything he does. If this nigga don't get no Emmy and they give it to like She-Hulk or something, I'ma strangle somebody.
Boy,
If She-Hulk gets nominated,
if She-Hulk gets
trust me,
nominated
you won't
for an
get
Emmy,
end of it.
it's gonna be hell. Cause that, what other Marvel thing? I don't think
They're gonna
anything-
see me.
I don't think
They're gonna
anything
see
Marvel
me.
related has been nominated for an Emmy, bro.
But he should definitely get best. Like he, especially this last episode, he acted his hands off, yo. So King Viserys got to see his grandkids. So Rhaenyra now has technically 6 kids in the show. No, yes, she has 6
No
kids.
question, because I haven't watched the episode yet. So are these kids with zesty
Daemon.
black folks or Damons?
Daemon. This is
Okay.
Daemon's kids. So these are
Okay.
pure Targaryens.
Pure, okay.
So trust me, you ain't about to have that many kids that long. So, now when it comes to, she showed, her kids. She showed the king her kids. Her kids crying because the king ugly. He don't got face.
That nigga fucking
Half his face is
gross.
gone.
God
So,
forbid you were
Throne is
eating
kicking his
anything.
ass.
God forbid you were eating anything watching that episode. That
He
nigga
looks
gross.
like a Lock Salamoon. If you watch The Mummy, go ahead. If you didn't, get you a nice HBO Max subscription. I don't even know if it's on HBO Max. Let me
I
check.
don't think it is.
But he look like a Lock Salamoon. So now the king is bedridden, so he can't get out the bed, and Rhaenyra still has to face the court to battle Lucerys like claim. And long story short, you get to see like the older kids and stuff like that, like Prince Aegon, who is Alicent and
Viserys is cute.
Viserys' son, raped some chick.
That nigga
They
is
gave
white
her that
privilege the
playing
character.
Yeah, right. Privilege care. They gave Shorty the Plan T and some money. If you don't know what the Plan T is, find out. Get you that HBO Max subscription. When we get to see Aemon, who has made a crazy character change since he got that goddamn dragon. Tall as heck too. He was not that tall when he was a shorty. You see Aemon, and he's in the court with the worst character known to man, Sir Kristen Cole. And he
That nigga
just
still
beat the crap
alive.
out of Kristen Cole. And Kristen Cole like, man, you ready for a tourney? And this is how we know what Aemon character is going to be. He said he don't care about no goddamn tourney. He want to fight. He's like Seamus, but a Targaryen.
You wanna pull up? It's time to pull
But he
up.
killed it. And he looked at his cousin and he said, hey, y'all here to train? Basically saying, y'all come up in here with that ass.
I'm killing y'all.
I'm killing. Also, foreshadow, but we didn't get to that.
Alright,
Probably
super
next
foreshadow.
week.
Okay, I saw that
So we'll
shit.
probably get to that next. It's a lot. So we get to the point in which they had court. Not before. Nigga Targaryen brother made a good entrance. So we get to the point we have court, which is by far the best part of the episode for me, because y'all know I stand Damon. But it's the last 2 acts of that episode was
It's
really
wild.
freaking good.
That shit was wild. I was like, holy shit.
But we get to court, and basically the black dude, basically Otto Hightower right there, like, look, plead your case, and black dude pleaded his case. He's like, look, we know what it is. We need a pure blooded Valerian on Driftmark's throne, and we know why that ain't the case. My brother about to die, and he ain't legitimate. He ain't legitimate these dudes. Now everybody in their mama don't want to say it, but no, them kids is with Rhaenyra and Howard Strong. Them ain't no pure blood Valerians. So, now, as Otto asks Rhaenyra to come stay her case, and she giving her speech, she nervous because she knows she in a losing battle. With the greatest entrance in this whole entire season, the king come out looking like Quasimodo mixed with the Phantom of the Opera. Comes out
Ugliest nigga ever, bro.
and with a cane, and he walking, and he comes out to that throne. And it was just a really good scene. It was a really good scene because it kind of shows like this is his character. No matter what, he's going to defend his fucking daughter because he knows the reason that they have in court, because Rhaenyra told him to. But he's like, yo, I'm going to defend my daughter. He, which was another good part, he didn't want nobody to help him. So he started stumbling. And I'm going to tell y'all something which was really good. This is how you know these actors on their bag. He failed. And Daemon put the crown on his head. Because it shows that Daemon loved his brother. Just an asshole. That whole scene was improvised.
Yeah, I had read that was an improvised scene.
Yeah, he just tripped up them joints. And Daemon, because that actor's a really good actor. Shout out to him being in Doctor Who. No, I don't know where to find Doctor Who because I'm not British. But, so Viserys get on the throne. He like, look, I don't even know why we having this conversation. And plus, if we is having this conversation, why Rhaenys not talking about it? Basically saying Rhaenys is the one who should say who's going to sit on the throne because her husband is the one dying. And Rhaenyra don't know if Rhaenys going to side with her because Rhaenyra thinks Rhaenys thinks that
her son is dead.
Her son is dead and it's Rhaenyra's fault. But out of pure left field, Rhaenys says, yeah, Lucerys or Luke is the heir of Driftmark. That's it, that's all. And everybody just do a big old gas.
Black man said, I had enough.
And Black dude was like, yo.
He said, on phone them, boy. Fuck all this shit.
Yeah, on the V. Y'all not about to keep playing on my name.
Dead ass.
And he said, look, I don't know if you see a king because you got one eye, but them damn kids ain't no Valerians. He was like, and then
it was like,
bro, my nigga Daemon.
I will have your tongue for that. And he was like,
no, before that. He was like, y'all know what this is. And then nigga Daemon looked him dead in his eye. He was like, say it.
He said, say it. He said, they're bastards.
And everybody just started screaming and shit because they know what's about to go down. And
Viserys, he got up, he's like, I will have your tongue for that. And then he's just smiling. He's smiling. He's just like.
And the realest nigga in the room cuts his head clean.
It was like, it literally came out of nowhere, bro. Like, he was there 1 second. He was like, he was smiling. And next thing you know,
just
gone.
He gave that nigga a Pac-Man. And the scene was so funny because his dreads, he cut that nigga so clean, his dreads started falling. Yeah. So real quick history fact about Daemon's sword. His sword, he has Dark Sister, which is one of Aemon's wife's swords when they conquered Westeros. Now, it's made out of Valyrian steel. Valyrian steel is the sharpest steel in the kingdom. If you see anybody else get their head chopped off, you probably see their head get chopped off by a long sword, like execution. But in terms of just fighting, it takes a little bit to chop somebody's head off. Valyrian steel, that is not the case. It's just a clean swipe.
Stronger, yes.
Butter.
Smooth.
And then he said he can keep his tongue.
Yeah, he can keep his tongue. And everybody like disarm him. He was like, look, I did what I had to do.
He said, come on now.
He was like, he talked about my kids, bro. And he chopped his head off. And just like Targaryens, right after that, they went to dinner. Just like nothing else happened. That dude just went to an autopsy.
Yeah, he's like, we'll send his body to Driftmark like next week or something.
and they all have done it, which another part of the episode goes on. So, which is King Viserys is sitting there with his family, and he's just so happy for his family to be there. And everybody is throwing shade at each other.
So much cat.
And Viserys is so sick, and he's like, I'm just happy niggas here. It starts
He's
off
like
with,
that old nigga.
It starts off with, I think, is it Aegon? Aegon said some things about
because they announced that, because she announced that the Rhaenyra is like
Oh yeah,
they're gonna get married to like
to
the other
their
side.
sisters. Technically,
Yeah,
they're gonna
and
get married to their sisters, their stepsisters,
yeah,
the Valera, the
and
black
then like
folks.
Aegon was like, "Oh, you're finally gonna get some action, huh?"
Yeah, and um, basically disrespecting him. They was about to fight, but it kind of calmed down because that nigga Amon, real ass nigga for some reason, just stared them niggas down. Um, and then Aegon's wife, sister wife, that's what it's called, sister wife, came up, said a spoiler before she said her speech, which nobody knows what the spoiler means just yet. It can mean what happens to her kids. It can mean what that little one leg dude doing. It's a lot, but it said beware of the beast under the floor or something like that. But she got up and said, "Look, Amon don't even love me. He just come in this room when he drunk. He don't even talk to me." And everybody clapped for her because all she do is speak in riddles. So people just happy she talked. Amon looking stupid. Then real nigga, I forget what's that kid's name. Viserion. I don't know. Rhaenyra's firstborn pick up the girl who just was just talking, and they started dancing.
Oh
Which
yeah,
made
yeah.
Aegon a little pissed. So King ended up coughing and stuff, so he had to get sent to his room. Rhaenyra and Alicent is technically trying to make peace right now.
Yeah, because
Look,
before all that,
really,
they have a toast was like, I toast the queen, and then she's like, I thank you so much, blah blah blah, and it's like,
yeah, they trying their best, right? So a pig get put out on the table in front of Aemon, and Aemon was told. I mean, Aemon back in when he had the biggest dragon on the man, they gave him a pig with wings on it and called it the Pink Dread. To this day, that's the only reason. That was the reason this nigga had a heel turn, was the fact that they gave that nigga a pig. So he ended up having a pig in front of him, and Rhaenyra's kids started smirking and laughing, and he hit his hand on the table, got up, and started basically doing a toast to the kids, saying, "Look,
to my nephews,
toast to my nephews, cousins, whatever the fuck y'all are." It's good to see how strong
yeah,
you got, how strong you look, and basically saying like, "Look, y'all niggas some bastards." And they got mad. They getting tired of being called strong, so they got mad as they try to fight. Well, he stole off Aemon. Aemon just looked at him like, "Bro, that didn't even hurt." And as they continue to try to fight,
and then Aegon got the dude that was dancing.
Yeah,
his,
Aegon got that dude that was dancing and smashed his head to the fucking table. I'm like, y'all getting bitched. And so Aemon was about to start beating ass. And then
this
the
man,
realest nigga in the room,
this man literally
ain't
was
say
like,
nothing throughout the whole entire time. Got up, looked him dead in the face, was like, Daemon looked him in the face, like,
he's like,
like,
so we fighting?
We fighting?
So when are we doing this? Like,
I'm telling you, if you don't watch the episode, watch the YouTube clip. HBO's YouTube clip of that scene right there. Because Daemon didn't have a smirk. You're like, yo.
He just stood there. Like he didn't
Real
like
nigga
literally
shit.
he didn't say a single thing throughout the entire dinner. Like I think he looked at Viserys like once when he was talking. And then like everything is happening, shade and capping is going on, and then as soon as something happened to the kids, he like, "Hey, mom, bro, that eye patch don't mean nothing to me, bro. I give you another one." Like, it was fun, but I will say the another good part of that scene was when they did the toast. So Rhaenyra and Alicent, they toasted each other basically, and then you kind of see them off dancing and stuff, and you know that Viserys knows that it's so much fucking cap going on. Like he knows that there's still, like he knows that basically the reason why they're this cooperative is because he's still alive, and he knows that he's dying. So it just shows him like he's just like this, and it zooms in on him, like kind of zooms in on him like smiling and like kind of like a sad smile, and it's playing like this somber music as it's zooming in because he knows his family's fucked. So like it was a good scene. It was like I was like, all right, I see what y'all doing.
There's so many things that Viserys can do in order to stop this. If it turns out it's true, which it is, but if it turns out true that those are Howard Strong's sons, Viserys, without any problem, can legitimize those kids and say those are Targaryens and not bastards. And they can't do a dang thing about it if Viserys legitimizes it. But there's a thing in every show that ruins every character, which is called fucking pride. And pride, look, I like my family. He also can say, look, Rhaenyra is my heir. There's nobody's gonna sit on the throne but Rhaenyra. I legitimize her son. They are the ones to become, which he technically did, but he can reinforce it some more. Or just say Aegon is not meant to be king. And at the end, at the end of the day, he didn't do that. He did it the honor way. He let things play out, which is about to involve in half his family going to play. But which leads us to the last scene. So Rhaenyra and so the rest of them went home. Rhaenyra stayed because her father, and this is going to play into the last episode, trust me. But Rhaenyra stayed because her father is technically dying, so she stayed. And she told Addison, like, look, I'm going to go. But she was like, look, her and Addison technically reconciled for now. They think everybody think it's good. And she said, look, it would be good if you stay just to be by, Viserys side. And she did. So she said, look, I'm going to take my dragon home. Everybody else can just go. So we get this is a very sad scene. We get the last shot of King Viserys, and he's with his wife, and he's basically this nigga. He's about to die, so he's just talking, and he's talking about because he thinks that Rhaenyra is in a room with him, but instead his wife. So he's trying to remind Rhaenyra, like, look, the whole purpose of you being queen is to make sure we get the prince that was promised. Aegon's prophecy. Alicent, being a sadistic woman she is, you say Aegon? That's my son's name. Aegon the prince that promised? Okay. And she gave that nigga milk of the poppy and she peeled out. Cause she knows that nigga about to die. And she heard his last words saying, Aegon is the prince that was promised. So she's gonna use that for Aegon's claim when the nigga died. And we just get this last shot of him dying, but smiling at the same time because I guess he got to see his family for the last time. And he just died screaming black. Now, personally, I was pissed. Yeah. I was like, if you ever seen a dick tease in a TV show, that was a dick tease. For people who know how the dance get immediately cracking the moment that nigga croaks. And what's up, Cat? And the moment that nigga croaks, and he croaked right then and there, and I thought they was gonna have some, but they didn't. Next week's episode is the penultimate episode. If you know Game of Thrones, except for season 8, the last episode is always Battle of the Bastards, the Battle of the Black Sea when Tyrion blew up that wildfire. Ned getting his head chopped off. So many other last episodes that so symbolic with it.
Bronn becomes king of the Iron Throne.
Yeah. Let's not talk about that. But it's so many. So last episode of House of the Dragon, it's going to be really, really good. I like to say a special shout out to the 2 women who wrote this episode. 2 women wrote this episode. And I'm
Can
not
we get them to go to She-Hulk?
I'm not saying it to be woke, but this is why diversity really matters. Because one of the best episodes of the show was written by 2 women that people probably didn't, know that much.
Oh, they probably didn't know.
It's a very well received episode. This is why diversity matters. This is why D&D should have other people work on the show too. But
Disney,
House of the Dragon,
please hire those writers for your future shows, please.
I'm sorry, them people probably don't want to write PG-13 mess with a bunch of fourth wall breaking and tongue-in-cheek moments. But
yes.
Last but not least, House of the Dragon so far has been really, really good. I understand that some people is not too, loving of the intrigue, because this show is intrigue. Game of Thrones did a lot of explaining to you. The original Game of Thrones, like if Tyrion didn't explain why something was happening, Littlefinger or Viserys would, or Ned before his head rolled down the block. A lot of people explain what's going on. This show, you kind of got to go on somebody last year and be like, yo, why did this bitch do that? So there's a lot of intrigue going. It's a lot of plot, but it is a building up episode for niggas who watch anime. Know that shit build. This right here, the GOAT, JoJo, Bizarre Adventure. It was built till we got to Kira. It was built as we got to Dio. It's built as we get into Poochie. So it's always going to be a build to something. The dance is going to be amazing, no cap. So just a good episode. Watch it with the homies. That always makes things 10 times better. But yeah, that was Game of Thrones. You see how fun that was compared to fucking She-Hulk? You see how fun that was compared to talking about the same damn anime? That was fun. That was legit fun. But I'm good.
All right, cool. So